Hi, this is Chantal again, and I'm doing a quick tutorial on how to create cutting files for the Farmer's Wife Sampler Quilt. The authors of this book, or the author of this book, was kind enough to include an entire CD with 106 piecing templates included. So that just makes our life much easier. First things first, load your CD onto your computer, take all those files and put it in a folder where you can find them. Name the folder Farmer's Wife or something that you can remember, and once all those PDFs, which what they are, there's 106 of them, are loaded on your computer, then you can go ahead and put away that CD and save it and keep it from getting damaged or anything, because those files will be ready to use on your computer. So again, remember what file you put it in so that you can open it, and then after that it would be quite easy to create cutting files from them. Now, the first thing you may notice is on my, I like to call it virtual mat right here, I like to put whatever size cardstock I'm using virtually on the mat, and then that way I know how much area I have to work with. So in this case, it's an 8.5 by 11 sheet of cardstock, or otherwise known as letter size. You can always change that if you happen to have a smaller piece, or let's say a larger 12 by 12 piece of cardstock. Maybe you got it at a scrapbooking place or something like that. You can left click up here in the right hand corner, and there's a design page settings window. If you click on that, you get this design page settings, and right here you can see mine says letter. You can change it to, if it was automatic, it'll go ahead and be the size of the mat itself, which is 12 by 12. But in my case, it's going to be letter, and I create my files on a letter size, for letter size cardstock, because I generally buy a ream of cardstock at the office supply place or big box store for, I buy a ream, and usually like 67-pound cardstock. So So I like to use this size for my files. It reminds me what my area is that I have to work with. If I didn't put it here, then possibly when I place my templates on the mat, I could be off the cardstock and would cut my mat. So this tells me the area I have to work with. Okay, let's go and get into loading the PDF onto the mat. So simple. And because they were kind enough to have these files for us in PDF form, we can manipulate them without even tracing them like we do for other items. So let's go left click up here in the upper left hand corner, and let me open this up a little bigger, maybe you can see it better. We want to left click File, Open, and I'll do 11. I know what this one is. So when you click on it, you can click it once and then hit OK, or I have a habit of double clicking. That's left click, double clicking, and it will open to this PDF import. Now there's a couple ways we can do it at this point. One is you can uncheck this group, but I want to show you how to do it if you did not uncheck it, so that you know how to manipulate a vector image. So go ahead and leave this checked. Make sure this is highlighted here in blue, import as a vector, and just left click import. It's going to actually bring that file right on our mat. It's that simple, and we do not even need to trace it. So we're going to take our mouse and place the cursor over our item, and when we have the hand, we're going to right click ungroup. Now everything is selected with those frames. So don't write me and say it all moved at the same time. Just left click. Let me go back to show you. Just left click somewhere else on the mat. Now bring the hand back to select the solid line. Left click. Let me get it. I fat fingered that. So let's click that. Just drag the solid line over here. It's that simple because we ungrouped that vector image. This is the only line we need right there. That is a cutting line in the exact size that we need for this quilt. So what do we do with this? Very simple. I'm going to left click, drag over all of it, and press delete on my keyboard and make that all go away. So here is our cutting file. Obviously, not quite done yet. You'll all know that I like to place a hole centered in my paper pieces. But another thing is that there are 106 pieces for this quilt. Well, there's several rectangles, several triangles, several squares. It would be hard to tell these apart. So the best way I have found, and I was quite happy with it, is to number them and have the numbers cut out of the actual piece, very simply. So let's take our cursor, go over here to the left click on text. That will bring up our text style window, and through trial and error I have found if you highlight the actual font style and type in stencil or start to type it, it will come up. Click stencil, then come down here to text size. We're going to highlight over that, and or you can erase it, and I usually start with 25. Click enter on your keyboard. Now bring your cursor to the actual template, and let's see, this is 11, so we're going to type 11. Click somewhere on the mat. If I go back to this, I can go ahead and place this wherever I want. Now a couple things. I can drag the corners and make it bigger, or I can change it here under text size. Sometimes dragging the diagonal is just faster for me. So I'm going to place this number where I want it. And then I like to put a circle on my paper pieces. It makes them easier to remove. Plus it provides a window or an extra place to check when you fussy cut your English paper piecing. And because I like to fussy cut them a lot, I want that circle in the exact center. Oops, I just dragged that. So what I'm going to do is left click on the ellipse tool, and before I draw my circle with this, I'm going to hold down the shift key, and I'm going to keep the shift key depressed until after I diagonally sweep a circle onto the template. I'm going to release my mouse first and then the shift key. Now, if I did anything with this cursor at this point, I would be drawing another circle. So let's go ahead, come back up here in the left corner, click on the cursor so we no longer draw circles all over our mat. Now, the circle at this point can be moved and it's not in the exact center. So what we want to do is when we have the little hand, select the circle, hold our shift key, select the outer edge of the paper piece or the template, go up to Object, left click, Align, left click, and then left click Align Center Middle. And what it does at that point is put the circle right in the center of our item. Now, we have it exactly where we want it. So what we want to do at this point is we want to group these items and make them one. One way of doing it is right-clicking and selecting Group, left click. But another way of doing it, let me go ahead and select all these items again for you, is come down here to the bottom left, and you can click on this icon right here, and that will group. and it does the same thing. So now, since I selected group, this moves as one unit. And the center, the numbers, everything will stay the way they are. Well, we have an 8.5 by 11 sheet. We need to utilize as much of this as possible. So let's go ahead, in this case, see how many we can get across. I'm going to right click, duplicate. That created another one. I'm going to drag it over here. So it looks like I can't get 3 across. Let's see. No. So it's only going to be 2. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and drag across both of these because I have OCD. Now that these 2 are selected, I'm going to go to Object, Align, and I'm going to align them to the top so that they're even across. After that, I'm going to right click and then group. Now remember, I also could have clicked on the icon down here, but right click, group worked fine. This is now one item, one unit. So we have 2 as one unit, and I want to replicate them down the page. So again, now that it's selected, you can tell by the frame all the way around it. I'm going to go to Object, Replicate, and the most I can do at one time is 4. So let's go ahead and do 4. Obviously, I can fit more. Let's do that again. 4. Oh look, we could do, let's do 3 more. Object, Replicate, and then column of 3. I like a little space between, you get better cutting lines between your items. So here's a little trick. I'm going to take this bottom one and take it down as low as I want to use of my actual paper. Then I'm going to, this keeps fidgeting, so I'm going to try not to do that. I'm going to left click diagonally over all the items. Now remember, I also could have selected Edit, Select All, but I like to just drag my cursor over all the items. So all these items are selected. I'm going to go back up here to Object, left click, Align, and I'm going to space vertically. Okay? So I have space vertically. It's still a little bit crooked, so Object, Align, let's go to the left and line them all up. When I have all of them the way I want, I will go ahead and this time let's go ahead and use this group one. Group them all together. Click outside of them and you can see here's our cutting file. This is an entire page of template 11 created for the Cameo from that one PDF. We did not need to trace anything. We only imported that PDF file as a vector image, then selected the item. We right clicked, select ungroup, selected the solid line, and just replicated the solid line and got rid of the stuff we didn't need. That's about all I have to tell you on that. That's how simple it is. But let me show you quickly how to save the item. Before I save my cutting files, I like to go over here to Cut Settings, where you select the blade, left click. Because there are holes in the center and I don't just want to cut the edge, I select Cut. I select Cardstock because that's what I cut my paper pieces out of. And if I wanted to go ahead and cut these, I would just at this point send to the Silhouette. But because I'm going to go make some more, I want to save this so I can use it at any time. Go up to File, left click, Save As, left click, and as you can see, it's already given it the name Template 11 because we took it from a PDF of the same name, and it will save as typed as a Studio 3. It looks like I already made one, but I'm going to hit OK, and I will just replace the one I have. So if I was to look in the file right now, I have the PDF version of what they gave me, plus my Silhouette version of, here, let me show you how to open this up a little bit. Let's check medium icons. So you can go medium, large. This is how you change the view, if you didn't know it, in your folder, so you can see what you're looking at. So here's 11, that's the original PDF, and here's the Silhouette file. And this is what you would open anytime you wanted to cut these. If you have any questions, you can write me on the Facebook group. But right here, that's all you need to open to cut your files. And you can create one for every single one of these. Again, to open a file, you just File, Open, pick a template, I don't know, let's do 27. Import as a vector. You can group or ungroup at this point. Practice, leave it checked and ungroup it on the mat. That way you get some practice of ungrouping the actual item. Left click import. Of course, when you do this, it will create a new page. The template 11 is down here at the bottom. There's a tab if I wanted to open it. It's right there. And the new one I just imported is template 27. So since I have some time left on this video, really quick, hand, right click, ungroup, click outside of the selected items, come back, get the hand again, select the solid line, drag it out of the way, left click over what we don't want, press delete on the keyboard, and go ahead and work on this and replicate it, and don't forget to save it. And that's it. So that's how you create cutting templates for the Farmer's Wife Sampler Quilt with their generously donated templates included on the CD with each book. I hope this helps. You create your own cutting files. Drop me a line if you have any questions, and go practice. Have some fun, and maybe you'll be making this quilt along with me.